What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's VOD review, we're going to be taking a look at all-time top NA West Pro and how you can improve your solo Cash Cup performance by analyzing EpikWhale and what allowed him to place third in one of the most recent Cash Cups. But before I get into this VOD review guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me, use code Talon.fn in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen, we have EpikWhale's POV. He is going to win this game and end up placing third overall. We're going to be taking a look at all of the highlights from his solo Cash Cup. Some good things, some mistakes, everything that needs to be talked about. We're going to talk about it. Off-spawn engagement now, I'm going to talk about just something that's incredibly intelligent. One, he's on a natural high ground position, and he has a decent amount of AR ammo. It's an off-spawn fight, and the biggest thing off-spawn is materials. So what does EpikWhale do? EpikWhale, in this particular engagement, literally spams this opponent out of mats. Now, the fight is pretty awkward because the opponent actually has a blue pump, with him only having a green makeshift. He gets cracked right here, but he returns the favor, and he sits here up on high ground. He has 200 mats, and I was a little bit surprised. He misses a shot right here. He's going to lose this shot at range. Should have probably stuck with AR, but also doesn't opt to go for minis, which his opponent, I believe, does at some point in this engagement. Already did, actually. But he spams his opponent out of mats, incredibly intelligent, and ends up winning that off-spawn fight. Saves his minis as well for after. This engagement, good example of pre-fight damage. And is just spamming through. Very, very risky at times to be spraying through with a bush. He gets the car out of the way. Now this is going to be a good attempt. He gets some even more pre-fight damage. And then he just protects all his angles off right here besides his back. And then he just edits everything down. He knew exactly. Doesn't waste a lot of materials. 100 drops him right in the opponent. The opponent is lost. And we're off to a free 2 eliminations. Now this right here, this is such a good box. However, I always find that this angle gets him in trouble a lot when he makes this center window edit, because the opponent actually has a better right hand peek and he gets cracked for 100. And this was kind of more of the same thing. He gets a 40 damage peak. He's still looking for counter peaks, and that was much better, crack for 100. Now he knows that he's about the same HP as the opponent, so he goes for the counter shot. But again, opts to not go for minis or any heals, which I thought was pretty interesting. Even when it was 200 to 50. He sees his opponent taking a medkit, gets front wall. Sees the opponent's Dentmadone caught in his own stare. Good, that's a good right hand peek, and the opponent's weak. Confident in taking that for sure. Good movement as well, ducking through. He's used some of his mats he got from that previous elimination. Now this is a good example of piece control. Little minute thing. This is so good to do when you're on scuffed low ground. Is you can get this cone to go 99%, and usually an opponent will try to build a ramp or do whatever. This opponent's just trying to spray through. Not the best, and he shambles. He gets a nice little refresh. See the use of the peppers. No surprise, the meta of this season is peppers. Spam this opponent off. Get some really bad bloom with good crosshair placement. Unfortunate. Get a little bit better right here. Now he's standing towards the back, and I think he's going to get ahead here. Yeah, he decides to get ahead and get an angles here, and you see why right there. You can look back and get free eliminations. You see 3 head dinks. Now a lot of his kills kind of get yoinked here. But because he's on a pepper, he's probably a little bit more confident playing back because he can so easily get from back to front. And he's in wood. He's saving his hard mats for later. He hasn't gotten focused. Now he drops down here with 400 mats, which I thought was a little bit strange. He nearly loses high ground, but he gets a fantastic box right here. That's really good. Let's just take over a look at what he was so methodical with that particular peak, and that's what allowed him to end the fight incredibly fast and make sure he retained high ground right here. So he's going to spray down and he jumped down. Now he had 400 mats. I don't think he needed to jump down. He could have maybe gone for a reconnect here because he is on single tart, but maybe he wanted just a refresh. Or just to get some extra points. Now he catches him off guard and realizes that this opponent's going to be there. He boxes him right here. Now look, he smartly edits this ramp and the ducks to the left side. He actually has a right hand peek with the edit that he's created. And the opponent's full box, so he actually just catches him with pickaxe out. Incredibly important movement aspect of your edits and your edit peaks to really maximize them is good movement. And you saw that duck back to the side around the cover. The opponent's not even looking. That's good piece control. And then again with peppers, we can go from full box. See, no reason right there to jump down. Now he takes a little bit more storm. I would have definitely preferred him to stay a little bit ahead. And you're going to see why staying ahead can be so beautiful. And this is the exact thing that I talk about this in almost every single VOD review that I do with professional players. In a 1v1 situation on high ground, you make sure you get second at a bare minimum. You do not jump down and let these opponents fight. Now this is really unfortunate for that opponent. He was trying to get all the max from his elimination and couldn't do it because the river was downstream. You're going to see that this off-spawn pressure with the AR is fantastic constantly. Now this fight gets a little bit scuffed. He makes sure he reloads before he commits. A little bit scuffed mechanically twice. Hits for 40. And then the opponent's off spawn and he makes the edit. Just good crosshair placement. Easy peasy. But off spawn, tons of AR pressure. Remind that, again, your opponent and you probably don't have great amount of mats. Frying the opponent's mats off is a really good strat if you're struggling off spawn. He lands sweaty most of these games, I believe. Good recognition where the opponent's going to go. And then good crosshair placement to finish it. That little duck, very important after you shoot. So he's going to have spaz here. That window edit gets him a lot. It's like a mid peak. I don't mind him going for the cone with that. And this is such good recognition. Now, most people are going to make a right hand peek peanut butter. And so what does he do? As soon as he makes the edit. Now look how exposed he is. And then he gets cracked for a lot. Now the opponent steals back, almost ends up getting caught. That mid window peek is really only good for piece control. I recommend resetting it because it gets him in trouble quite a bit. That's a good recognition. See, like that's completely okay.
Oh my god.
The guy gets rolled right there. I want to just talk about this. Good recognition, one that he's going to break down in 50-50. I believe he smartly places that cone and then goes for a different angle. I think that's exactly what you need to do if you have that amount of piece control. Let's take a look. So he's going to get up, get his minis off, and then what he's going to do after getting his minis off, he's going to recognize the opponent's going to break down. Nice 97 crack. He's actually earned on a cone. He makes sure he gets that top cone. And instead of going for a peek here, because he's only 99, he's one tap to pretty much any shotgun that's, you know, if any headshot. But he makes sure he gets that cone, and then he, instead of going from the top, he realizes the opponent has that roof. He goes, okay, I have that wall. I'm going to make a right-hand peek. And then boom. G's ends the fight incredibly quickly after it being kind of scuffed due to a bad peek. Now this is just textbooks. This is a nice little edit through with the blueprints clone sign. 56. Fantastic.
Oh my God,
that's one thing that's incredibly important is when you have wall. You see this, a ton of pros do this. When you get this front wall, look, we make an edit here. Crack, we reset, we don't make the same edit. Like, it's so good to switch up your angle because it makes it so much more, or so much less more predictable if you make the same edit. So usually a lot of opponents will look for that, but if you change up the edit angle, and this is a pretty wide open peek as you see, but the opponent is switching weapons. He catches him off guard, and good crosshair placement.
Alright, let's see him work at his
Now here's this opponent here.
Oh my god,
so much better peek. I like that window peek a whole lot better. Now he has full control right here. This opponent's scuffed. He doesn't really have a lot of choices. So what is EpikWhale plays is incredibly smart. He eats the fish just for extra HP,
dude,
and then he recognizes the opponent trying to. Good crosshair placement, but he recognizes, he waits for the opponent to wait and break out. Now we're in a shambles endgame. 9 builds. Good, fantastic. That cone slide stops him right there. It's basically a very important refresh. Now this is going to talk about is a little bit unfortunate. You get into a bunch of congestion that isn't yours. It's really just aim duels at this point. He cracks his opponent for 105, tries to finish, and then this opponent drops in. Unfortunately for EpikWhale, he's literally one tap, and he ends up getting kind of just 2 refreshes right there. Actually, I believe he got both. I think he got that due to Storm. Now he has 500-ish mats, 124. Oh, that would have been so nasty. Good attempt. But realizes he has a lot of mats, and then he can just drop down and get the finish. Guys, I apologize there was an ad. Let's continue. See him taking a big pot here. We're about 10 builds. 9 eliminations. Really good game. Catches opponent shambles low ground. 1 pumps. Fantastic. Cracks this opponent, and the opponent's actually going to make a good play on him if I remember. Doesn't have any builds, and the opponent has front control wall and just cracks him on a right hand peek. Not much he can do there. Shambles, no mats. But you'll take it. 10 kill, 4th place. Now, this is good awareness off spawn. Now, look, he notices this opponent more concerned about getting in as opposed to worrying that EpikWhale's on him. So he gets first pickaxe. He must have gotten tagged out of the air. He only hit him 3 times. Maybe EpikWhale knew that and why he went for the pickaxe. but a free elimination off spawn. Now, I don't... Oh, this is unfortunate. You see Snacky DC'd here? So gets a free elimination right there. Now, this game is going to be incredibly stacked. 41, half and half. I want to just talk about this. With AR pressure, this little stutter is so important to get shots through. This stutter right here. Where he just gives it some time to kind of tighten up his bloom. And then, because of how laggy it is, the opponent can't really do anything. And then again, importance of Harpoon. Now, the biggest takeaway from this VOD review is going to be use of the Stinkfish. He's going to get 2 eliminations right here. It's incredibly important stack games. One for Surge. Now, he's very, very fortunate here. 9L Pluto. Guy just ends up falling in his box, and he gets another elimination with the Stinkfish. You're going to see him use it throughout. In these stack teams, it's excellent for Surge. It's excellent for pickups, especially even in late game. Good conserve tarp here, getting to front side of zone. Good recognition. Oh, this is fantastic right here. He puts this guy in the montage with the preemptive piece control, the pre-box. Everything is just, the mechanics so smooth, but this is just reading where your opponents are going to be. So he drops down, he cracks immediately, and so the opponent's going to have either 2 choices. Now the opponent, he sees, already recognizes right here, this opponent is going this way 100%, so get front wall cone, so he stays on the same layer, cracked, boom, free refresh in moving zones. Look at that. He's going to be capped with no wood, so not that big of a refresh, but good elimination nonetheless. Free point and more materials, so I'm going to get us capped. Now it fast forwards us to high ground, 8 builds. You're going to see Vert get absolutely rolled here with piece control. Not much he can do. Probably shambles low ground because we're in night zone. Same right thing right here. There, that's where the window edit works really, really good. That was Frappi, and it was just a... Let's just take a look, because I've said that window edit's been really, really bad, and it has been pretty bad for most of the engagements that I saw, but this was the one time where he does this front window edit, and I think it's because the movement was a little bit better. Let's see. So you get the piece control on Vert right there. He got floor cone slide, and then Vert has nowhere to go because he just got that other elimination on that opponent shambles. Now he recognizes that opponent's going to drop down underneath him, right? Because his own's pushing that way. He forces him that way. So he goes, okay, I need to get front wall right here. He gets front wall right here. The opponent's caught off guard by it. I think that's the big thing. Falling down, it's fantastic. Make sure he covers his head, and then I don't believe Frappi had any mats. And then we get into this last engagement. I believe he ends up getting second here. It's a good pre-fight finish. Oh, nope, I apologize. He ends up getting second there, but good shoot down and the good crosshair placement finishes that victory royale. We're in another, not a super stat game, as you see, 29. Gets a little bit of pre-fight. Now, car rotates are horrendous in solos, in my opinion. It just gets you focused a lot. Good recognition, trying to get some piece control. His opponent jumps up where he has the wall and just gets a nice free elimination right before going into moving. And like I said, Stinkfish, so good, especially on opponents. He even gets the finish here. That's a free way to get an elimination. Someone shambles 19, so not a lot. Not going to make the play for half and half. Now, he doesn't get in here. He hears the fight get finished, and then he switches up his angle. He notices the wall here is fortunately one tap. 116 sprays through. Controlled AR pressure. We've seen this with videro VOD reviews in the past. Is just getting the wall one tap, not really making sure you're overcommitting, just basically spraying wildly. And now he's going to be capped going into first moving. Even though the game is not that stacked, he also gets 3 shieldfish from it, so a very important elimination. Now I was a little bit surprised here he didn't stinkfish this immediately, but he gets the last bullet. Very, very fortunate. He's going to use some of the extra brick, maybe go for it, but using what he can. And then this is a great another thing for second height. When you're on high ground, throwing stinkfish on your opponents is a great way to assuage them from going from high ground, which is incredibly important again in this high placement meta. Easy elimination on someone who just got cracked from a previous elimination. Now 3 shieldfish. Now tons of mats, so I was a little bit surprised he just opted to kind of go down here with that amount of players, because he ends up losing high ground. But shieldfish are fantastic, and he goes through, gets free elimination, and this is just good crosshair placement, movement. I like that spray through right there to immediately know where he's going to go. He knows he has mats, and this is what Shieldfish are so broken. Apologize, guys, there was an ad. We're now in this 1v1 situation. I don't know why he jumped down there to play for more kills. It ended up costing him high ground, and I believe he ended up getting 2 eliminations on the low ground, but he ended up not getting the victory royale because his opponent took high ground from him. So I think a little bit of a mistake there to drop down. He had mats. I think he just kind of got a little bit overzealous and greedy, but he at least capitalized with 2 eliminations. And this window edit has been killing him the whole day. That window, I don't think it's the absolute best optimal peak, especially that's I think the 3rd time now I've seen him get cracked on that front window edit. It's really good falling down, but other than that, I don't think it's that great of a peak. Get a free elimination right here. Good escape route right there. And now this opponent's going to get full box. Very fortunate to get that ramp off. Cracks 90. And like I said, talk about switch up your angle peak. Gets the wall back. With him being a 6 ping player. No problem. Now, much more stacked right here. He's off of peppers, so he's not too concerned about rotates. He's going to get a free elimination on someone shambles when the server is incredibly laggy. It's very good. Almost gets all of his, almost a max refresh. First moving. Now, this is incredibly smart. Cracks. Fantastic. This is what piece control can do for you, and we've seen a lot of half and half pickups, which is the crux to making sure that you have a successful end game. So we saw that pickup right there, and he's 5-3-2. He could be a significantly better, but he sees his opponent going underneath. He walls him off right here. That's EpikWhale's wall. And then the opponent goes, oh, Jesus, what am I going to do? And then he gets cone slid, cracks, and then, okay, what do I got to do? I got to block off the escape route. Piece control at its absolute finest, and the opponent just is looking lost like a flopper, and he gets a free pickup. Now, I want to talk about this right here. This is incredibly intelligent. He realizes it's not his wall, and you see someone made an edit right here to get control of it. But before EpikWhale drops down, he shoots through and makes sure he can grab it. And that exact reason, and you see he takes the stinkfish once again. He has harpoon. He really prefers the stinkfish even over play flopper. He gets the dead side right here. Has used a lot of mats. You see him sit here now, get ahead, look back maybe for a free elimination. And you're going to see it again. That's why he likes taking the stinkfish. You get a lot of shambles players. It can tick you so significantly hard. I've loved seeing this. Even at the end of the season, we're seeing different strategies that we can use. Gets the mats, uses the harpoon, gets immediately to dead side. And that way you can save some mats. Immediately gets on this guy's wall. Good little crack right here, but he's probably not going to overcommit. 200-ish builds. 16 top 5, or not, 16 people left. His stinkfish, now this is I think a mistake, is he stinkfish and runs right into it, and it's so deadly in zone as he loses about 60 HP. And then I believe he's going to drop down here and just get one pumped because he doesn't have a lot of mats. And then he gets Taughty in the storm, so he gets a free refresh just from a storm kill. And then this is really just 2 builds, no really other play. Usually catches opponent guard. I think actually Mechcon ended up winning this cash cup, but his opponent made a really good counter. He basically cracked him as he came in, was prepared for it, and then flipped the ramp into a 50-50 and cracked him again. And then that is going to be the end of the cash cup, I believe. Not much he can really do in that particular situation. But really good stuff from EpikWhale. We saw a lot. I think the biggest takeaway overall is the use of the stinkfish. It was incredibly important for getting easy points, easy free points. I believe 4 or 5 eliminations. Another thing was the AR pressure off spawn is incredible. Spray off spawn. Make sure you burn your opponent's mats. That way you are at mat advantage. You can easily end the fight. And then we obviously peppers, harpoon. We've seen these in all these pro VOD reviews. Those are just tenets of the season to basically get you refreshes whenever you need. And then just the one thing to take away is if you're going to do that window peak, make sure you find a way to optimize it with movement or falling down, because that front window peak actually hurt him a lot more than it helped him. We saw the one time that he did a right hand window peak when he did it on the 3rd right tile. Was much better, got 100 crack. and just good opponent recognition of that scuff fight and Sweaty after him getting cracked. That was really, really good. Recognize, get that cone, stop going for that peek, go for a wall instead, get a nice right hand peanut butter, and end the fight. But guys, that is going to do it for today's VOD review. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, please drop a like in this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.